Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our upcoming bantamweight bout.
Benji Gomez, a little bit older than his opponent, Yumma Horiuchi, also came in 4 pounds over in weight. Let's see if that plays into the contest. I expect this one to be a war.
Making his way to the cage, Benji Gomez.
Making his way to the cage, Benji, the Brawler Gomez, was a fixture back in the CXF cage, now making his lights out Xtreme fighting debut. He comes in with a record of 8-11, but a wealth of experience. Out of his victories, 2 knockouts, 6 decision victories, so he is capable of going the distance. He's never met a fight that he didn't like.
Absolutely, and it's worth noting that both of those knockouts came in the first round, so he is a quick starter, and he's also got cardio for days, so don't be surprised if this fight does go the distance.
Gomez coming off of a victory over Ron Skalsdang and has a razor-fast 32-second victory in his back pocket as well earlier in his career.
Yeah, Benji Gomez, a veteran of the Southern California fight scene. He's been around many promotions, fought a who's who of young mixed martial artists. He's got a big victory over Steve Swanson. You mentioned his knockout victory over Ron Skalsdang. His nickname is the Brawler, and that's exactly what you expect to see every time Benji Gomez steps inside the cage.
Absolutely, but a bit of a misnomer as well, Manuk, because Benji Gomez has a fantastic amateur wrestling background as well, so he can always take it to the ground if need be.
No, absolutely. Anytime you have a discipline like wrestling and boxing, you have the stand-up game, you have the ground game as well. Never be fooled by the record.
Here we get a good look at Yumma Horiuchi out of Tokyo, Japan. He's coming off of a round 1 submission victory over Miguelito Marti. That was his first fight stateside, gentlemen. All of his other bouts have been in the land of the rising sun.
Yeah, a veteran of the deep promotion, Yumma Horiuchi's fought a who's who of fighters over in Japan, now making his way across the pond, trying to make his mark here in the States, fighting out of the Oyama fight camp. Yumma Horiuchi ready to step inside the cage, and I expect the very best version of this young fighter tonight.
Yumma Horiuchi, a very well-rounded fighter. Quite frankly, he's dangerous everywhere. Out of his 6 victories, 2 by knockout, 3, so half of his victories by submission, and went the distance for a decision victory, as well as lone loss of his career to Kota Ishibushi in Japan.
Horiuchi also has 3 first-round finishes under his belt, so don't be surprised if he looks for the home run early on.
Both fighters with 2 knockout victories to their credit. Should be a fun one to watch. Fighters inside the LXF.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to an incredible night of championship MMA here at the Burbank Marriott Event Center. Tonight, Lights Out Xtreme Fighting is presented by Amethyst Beverage. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the Commissioner, Mr. John Carvelli, the Executive Officer, Mr. Andy Foster. The judges scoring the bouts at ringside this evening: Chris Crail, Mark Davidson, and Jacqueline Denkin. The physicians at ringside, Dr. Bear Clanson and Dr. Zhu Sheng Lu, and the timekeeper this evening, Mr. John Lichty. Burbank, here we go. The first bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the super bantamweight division. The man in charge of the action, once the bell sounds, Mr. James Beers. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the gray trim. He weighed in at 132 pounds even. He has a professional record of 8 wins, 11 defeats. Please welcome out of Oxnard, California, Benji, the Brawler Gomez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner to my right, wearing the camouflage trunks. He weighed in at 128.2 pounds. He has a fantastic professional record of 6 wins, only 1 defeat. Fighting out of Irvine by way of Tokyo, Japan, here is Yumma Swag Horiuchi.
Stage is set for this battle in the bantamweight division. Horiuchi in the blue and white camo taking on Benji the Brawler Gomez in the black and gray. Gomez a lot of experience fighting in the area, so maybe a little bit of a home field advantage. Again, Horiuchi only fighting for the 2nd time in the United States.
Horiuchi opens up with a nice leg kick to the inside of Benji Gomez's lead leg.
Horiuchi in his career does have a beautiful head kick knockout, so you always have to be leery of that when you're in there with him. Horiuchi's got fantastic striking.
Very measured approach so far from both fighters. Benji Gomez still trying to find his range. Pawing with that lead jab.
And Gomez will employ the feeling out process. The difference between these two is, Gomez, 6 of his victories have come by decision, going the distance. On the flip side, Horiuchi is finished either on the ground or standing 83% of his wins.
Yeah, Horiuchi, a known finisher, and I expect him to be looking for that finish tonight, but unfortunately for him, he's got a tough out with Benji Gomez standing right in front of him. And Benji Gomez, when he gets going, starts throwing those hands, as you saw right there. He's got power in that left hand. He can turn the lights out in a heartbeat, as he did with Ron Skolstad.
Feeling out process to kick things off, but this fight does have that powder keg feel because the Brawler and Horiuchi both have knockout power. Trying to get that distance. Outside leg kick by Horiuchi. Straight left by the Brawler.
He sat down on that punch. Horiuchi avoided it well.
Brawler tried to counterpunch off of that leg kick attempt by Horiuchi. Standing affair thus far in the first round. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds of action.
You already touched on the head kick opportunities that Horiuchi looks for. He's using that leg kick as his entrance. You saw him flirt with the question mark kick a second ago and miss. Question mark kick resembles a low kick at first, and then you go down to block it. Next thing you know, you're on the canvas looking up at the stars.
Indeed, Jonathan, I mentioned it, that Gomez is going to have to be cognizant of that. Keep those hands high. Hear the chant of Benji start to go out by the faithful here. Catches the leg and tries to counter punch.
Horiuchi perhaps going to the well one too many times. Benji Gomez starting to look to catch that leg kick.
Heard the crowd interaction. There's a little taste of that home field advantage that I alluded to for Benji the Brawler Gomez. More leg kicks by Horiuchi. He's putting those in the bank, perhaps for later in the fight, and as you mentioned, perhaps to open up the head kick.
Well, that's the thing. If you take out the lead leg of Benji Gomez and force him to switch stances, then his power hand's in front. And you have a lot less opportunity for the home run for Benji Gomez. There's already a lot of bruising on the outside of the lead leg of Benji Gomez. These kicks are already paying dividends here in the first round. Nice body kick as well from Horiuchi.
Horiuchi putting those kicks in the bank as Benji the Brawler Gomez trying to blitz his way out. It looks like the Brawler's trying to live up to his moniker, trying to force the fight now. You can just sense a change in intensity by Gomez.
Yeah, he's eaten a few of those leg kicks and he's tired of taking them. Gomez is looking for a home run here. Don't know if Horiuchi's going to give him the opportunity to land one.
Horiuchi can be dangerous on the mat as well if he ever decides to take this thing down. Again, half of his victories coming by way of submission.
Starching that lead leg opens up a lot of opportunities for Horiuchi. It opens up the takedown. It opens up the stand-up. It takes Benji Gomez out of his strong stance and puts him in an alternate stance.
Some moments ago there, you can see the red starting to spread there on that right leg of Benji the Brawler Gomez, and that's not going to do it any favors there, Manuk.
No, you mentioned it, Todd. Horiuchi is putting on a clinic with his calculated kicks, scoring at will. Gomez does not have an answer so far. He connected once with a nice punch, but nothing else so far. It's Horiuchi's round all around.
And Jonathan, Horiuchi is connecting with those outside leg kicks at will, seemingly.
Absolutely. Anytime he throws it, he's landing it. Gomez is looking for the takedown now. Beautiful job by Benji Gomez to score a takedown here in short time.
Sense of urgency there late in the first round by the Brawler, trying to close the gap that perhaps Horiuchi had created with those repeated leg kicks, and might just have done it with a big takedown late and a couple big shots to close out the first round of action. We relive the action now. Manu, how do you see it after one?
Horiuchi put on a powerful performance for the first 2 minutes, 45 seconds of the round, but Gomez came on strong there. We were wondering where that sense of urgency was, and he showed it there at the end. We're going to see if he can continue that in round two now.
Question for you, Jonathan. Was that takedown enough to make it even, Steven, or was it too little too late for the Brawler?
It might have been too little too late. There was a lot of dividends already in the bank for Yumma Horiuchi. Would not be surprised if the judges scored that one 10-9 straight across the board for Horiuchi.
Sounds, and the action resumes in this bantamweight battle. Great sportsmanship. The fighters touching gloves for round two. Story of the round was the outside leg kicks by Yumma Horiuchi. It was a stand-up affair until the very end, and then Gomez scoring a big takedown, and you might wonder if he might try and double up and get another one here in the early period of round two. Try and press the advantage.
Nice jab there for Yumma Horiuchi, but he's not throwing it enough. Seemed to be relying heavy on those leg kicks. But Benji Gomez is doing a good job of timing them now and countering in kind.
Gomez has really been trying to counter off of those kick attempts. Caught the leg before he tries to counter punch with the left and catch Horiuchi off balance. Body kick attempt there by the Brawler. A little bit more of an intense pace here to start round two, and anything you can do, I can do better perhaps. A little leg kick attempt by the Brawler, but eats a couple. As a result, you can see, look at the red on that outside leg. That's got to really be pestering Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez winced real heavy on that last leg kick too. They're really starting to affect him.
And Manuk, I got to think that that's going to take some of the power and the pivotability away from the shots at Gomez as well.
No, absolutely. This is a classic matchup of a kickboxer and a boxer, but the legs are really doing the damage right now. It's clear as day.
It's a difference maker again, and that is certainly going to slow down Gomez, if nothing else. And he hasn't been able to do a whole lot about it, Jonathan. I mean, what can he do to answer these repeated leg kicks by Horiuchi?
Well, you touched on it in the pre-fight intro about Benji Gomez's wrestling ability. I don't understand why he doesn't just shoot a single leg or shoot a takedown to try to bring this fight to the mat. He was explosive at the end of the first round with that takedown. For some reason, he just seems to prefer to stand up with Yumma. And he's right now living in Yumma Horiuchi's living room. Not a place you want to be.
Gomez tried that 1-2 combination, trying to catch the kick again and follow up with the counter strike. But I'm with you. I mean, and it was a decisive takedown by Gomez late in that first round. He didn't have time left to capitalize on it, but he certainly could if he were to score one right now. Tries to blitz in again.
He's waiting on Horiuchi to give him the leg for the takedown, and I'd like to see Benji just dive in on a single leg on his own instead of trying to counter with the takedown. Assault with it.
Gomez tried to follow up and pepper Horiuchi with the jab, follow up with a big left. Horiuchi going right back to the leg kicks, and those welts and the redness continues to bubble up on that right leg of Gomez.
And you saw right there, Gomez went to block the low kick, and Horiuchi came back up high, missed with the question mark, but those low kicks have several intentions.
Yeah, we talked about it, Jonathan. The head kick of Horiuchi in the past, and it's going to get to the point where Gomez is going to be thinking, he's going to be preoccupied with those leg kicks, and you got to think that's when Horiuchi's going to pick his shot, perhaps, and go upstairs.
Those leg kicks have really affected the movement of Benji Gomez, so when he does storm forward, when he does try to plot forward and look to turn this into a brawl, Yumma Horiuchi is very quick to exit and avoid any damage.
Manuk, you've been studying this fight. What do you think the game plan is at Gomez at this point to not search for a takedown?
I mean, he might need a doctor right now, because that thing's having blood clots in his right leg. Trying to go for a takedown here. Let's see what he has.
Oh, now he's got the body lock. He finally was able to blitz in with those counter punches, scoring with a knee as well as the brawler trying to work within the phone booth and go to work, and now some knees right to the hamstring.
Horiuchi had an underhook there, so it was just a matter of time before he got off the cage.
Probably the best offensive flurry for Benji Gomez outside of the final seconds of the first round.
Gomez came to life with that flurry, but is it enough? Oh, beautiful leg kick. Drops Gomez.
Gomez is on the cusp of being a one-legged man as the round comes to a close, and those leg kicks are doing big-time damage. We might need to get somebody in there to clean up all the sawdust, because Horiuchi is chopping down the tree.
Yeah, he's having all sorts of problems over there with that lead leg.
Taking a look now into both corners. Horiuchi at the bottom of your screen, Gomez at the top. Got to be some relief for Gomez just to get off of his feet after all of those leg kicks.
No, absolutely, Todd. The same blueprint for Horiuchi, chopping away for the first 2.5 minutes of the round. And again, Gomez comes on late, but the same script. I have it 10-9 again, 20-18 in favor of Horiuchi.
Jonathan, late in the second round, you could really see the damage that was being done with the leg kicks as Gomez taken off his feet. Final chapter in this one between Yumma Horiuchi and Benji the Brawler Gomez. More of the same in round two, Jonathan. The leg kicks, the difference maker in this fight.
Yeah, just kicking the wheels off of Benji Gomez right now. Yumma Horiuchi sticking to his game plan. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A lot of contusions, a lot of swelling on the outside of that lead right leg of Benji Gomez. Horiuchi again with another leg kick.
You can see certainly laboring in terms of his footwork now is the brawler as a result of all of those leg kicks, trying to follow in, just doesn't have the fluidity of motion that he normally would have.
Yeah, you can have the most expensive race car known to mankind, but if you take one of the wheels off of it, it's not going to get you very far.
Now, Gomez definitely has a flat tire. You can see it already. 11 minutes into the fight, Horiuchi just having his way. Wounded warrior in the ring right now, Gomez is.
See if Gomez can get something going. Spinning back kick attempt. Nobody home for that. Still just astonished that Gomez isn't thinking takedown at this point.
He's got the knee there. Just as you said it, Todd, he's able to get Horiuchi to the mat. Horiuchi quickly back to his feet here. Let's see if Gomez can do anything with this dominant position.
It's been the second straight time that Horiuchi has rocketed right back to his feet and not allowed Benji the Brawler Gomez to capitalize. But another big takedown there. But will it be enough? tenacious to get back up.
Yeah, he's like a cat. You just can't keep him off his feet. Quick back to his vertical base. Now fighting the hands of Benji Gomez, trying to get off the cage. Gomez landing some nice knees.
Going back to those knees to the hamstring, trying to do a little residual damage to the lower extremities of Horiuchi.
Horiuchi digging for an underhook and able to get away.
So again, the takedown scoring some points for Gomez, but Gomez not really able to capitalize, do a whole lot with it. And I would expect Horiuchi to go right back to those leg kicks.
Another nasty leg kick for Yumma Horiuchi, finds its mark.
At this point for Horiuchi, you know, do you feel that he's confident that he's ahead on the cards? Is he on his bicycle a little bit?
He can pretty much be on cruise control here until Benji Gomez gives him something else to think about. Right now, it's all Yumma Horiuchi.
Totally agree, Jonathan, and I would happen to think that this is not, you see a spinning back fist attempt that looked like it was underwater. This isn't the sense of urgency that Gomez needs at this point, Manu.
Oh, no, not at all. We actually have to wonder, where is that sense of urgency he displayed in the first 2 rounds, coming on strong in the last 15 seconds. Gomez is down on the cards right now. You would figure the last minute and a half, he would change the game plan a little bit.
Horiuchi stealing a page out of the playbook of Gomez, catching the kick and shrugging off Benji the Brawler Gomez. Precious ticks coming off the clock for Gomez, who you got to think at this point might need to finish if he hopes for victory in this bantamweight battle. Brought to you here by Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Late takedown attempt, shrugged off there, defended nicely by Horiuchi. Gomez trying to steal a page out of the playbook, going to the leg kicks. I don't think you're gonna out-kick Horiuchi in that game.
Not only that, there's not a lot of left in the tank. Benji Gomez's lead leg is completely destroyed. He's gonna be feeling those leg kicks for a few days now.
Inside 10 seconds to go now in the fight. And again, almost like Gomez flipping the switch and takes down Horiuchi, but where was that earlier on?
Same script 3 rounds in a row, Todd.
Always at the last split second. This one's gonna go to the judges' scorecards. And Gomez is gonna need an ice pack for that leg. Take a look back at the action now.
Horiuchi trying to defend the takedown, but tenaciously Benji Gomez able to get the suplex slam here. Tries to bring Horiuchi to the mat with the suplex. Horiuchi does a great job of maintaining his balance.
Gomez eventually effective, but where in the world is that in the opening seconds of the round?
Yeah, very often you see a fighter try to steal around with the takedown at the last second, and perhaps that's what we saw with Benji Gomez's approach in that fight.
Remains to be seen if it was effective. This thing will go into the judges' hands to be determined. Horiuchi in only his 2nd fight here in the U.S., trying to improve to 7-1. Benji Gomez, a local favorite, trying to add to his winning record. Great sportsmanship by both after a great battle. Great atmosphere here in the Burbank Airport Marriott Convention Center as part of Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Well-matched fight. It just seemed to me that Horiuchi was able to execute his game plan more effectively.
Yeah, Horiuchi absolutely had a game plan. I'm not sure what the game plan of Gomez's was, but Horiuchi was definitely more effective in implementing his game plan.
Looks like the numbers are tabulated. We head back into the ring to ring announcer Barry Egan.
Burbank, how about a big round of applause for these two valiant warriors? To the scorecards we go. All three judges in agreement, scoring the bout 29-28 for the winner by way of unanimous decision. Yumma Swag Horiuchi.
Yumma Swag Horiuchi improving to an impressive 7-1, picking up a victory over the brawler Benji Gomez. And as I take a glance over to the unofficial scorecard of Manuka Kopian, precisely how you had it.
No, all three judges had it correctly. Very easy fight to score. You just want to see that sense of urgency from Gomez a little bit more in the first 2 rounds. It might be a learning experience. He might have another game plan next time he comes out in the cage, but it might be a while with those leg kicks.
Nice victory there by Horiuchi. More action coming your way on Lights Out Extreme Fighting.